Very good morning. Myself Dr. Ruchi Gupta. Today I will discuss the basic web development strategies in detail. So, before starting this web development strategies, first of all we have to know what is World Wide Web. So, World Wide Web, it is a system through which we can access the information in the form of some hypertext documents through internet or through some web. So, we can say that World Wide Web, it is a system of interlinked hypertext document that is accessed through the internet, and it is a huge collection of, it is basically a huge collection of web pages through which we can access the information around the globe. So, information system on the internet, it allows a number of documents to be connected to other documents by hypertext links. It enables the user to search for the information for moving documents to another. So, World Wide Web, it is another way of describe is that it is an internet which is a network of computers which are connected and that is used for sharing and allowing the communication around the world. For example, like World Wide Web is an internet, and it is also called, in a short way we can says it is a www. So, basically we can say that World Wide Web is a system through which we can access multiple interlinked hyper documents through the internet. So, as we come on the history of the web, so www is created by Sir Tim Berners in 1989 in Geneva. So, in 1990, the first text only browsers were set up in CAR and scientists, and in the fall of 1991, some conference were going around this world and started hearing about this promises, and in 1993 there were only 50 websites were there. But if we are compare it today's environment, so today are millions or billions are websites are available through which we can access the information. Now we come on some protocols which are used in World Wide Web, or which are used to connect some client to the server. So, in the World Wide Web or in web protocols, we can say these are some web protocols. So, one of the important protocol is HTTP. So, HTTP, it is basically, it is a file sharing protocol that is run over the TCP IP. So, basically the TCP protocol is used to transfer the data in the form of text files. But when we have to use this TCP protocol, there is a need of, in background, there is a need of some another protocol for communication between client and server. So, in that case, we are using here TCP IP protocols, and that is work over the HTTP protocols. So, HTTP protocols works over the web browser, and it is commonly recognizable protocols for the users. And in this HTTP protocol, one is a client and one is a server, and one request is going through the client in the form of, which is called a HTTP request to the server. Then server will accept that request, and the server will send some response to the client in the form of HTTP response. Okay, so when user enter into the website domain and he want to access some information through the internet, so one form of request is going through the internet to the server, and HTTP connects to the domain server and request side the HTML, which is the code, the structure and display the page begin. So, in behind of that HTTP, one protocol is working around, that is HTML, one language which are used behind this protocol, that is working for the web, especially for the web, it is called HTML, that is Hypertext Markup Language. So, another form of HTTP is a HTTPS, that is called a Secure Hypertext Transfer Protocol. It is basically used for, it is using the secure sockets for transferring the information over the web. So how it can work? So HTTP can encrypt the user's HTTP requests and responses, and it is basically used for providing the more security over the web, because we have to know that in today's scenario, a number of hackers are available over the net. So how we can secure our information, how we can securely access the data over the net? So in that case, we are using HTTPS. So it basically prevents some cyber security threats such as man-in-middle attack. Now HTTPS, we can say it is an extension of HTTP, but just it is a secure protocol. The security which is not provided in the HTTP, that is a common simple protocol for transferring the data in the form of text over the net. But if we are using HTTPS, that it is, we can say it is an extension version of HTTP, that is used for securely transformation of information over the web. So it uses encryption for secure communication over the network, and it is widely used over the internet. So how HTTP work? As I have already discussed, that one is a client machine and one is a server. So if client sends some information request, so the request will go through this through the internet to the server. Then what type of request is there, it will go as per the server requirement. It will go to the web server or video server or message server. Then server will send the response to the client as per that request which is received by the client. So it is basically, it is a process that how the through this HTTP, how the request and response can come and across over the network. So now we come on the another protocol, that is a TCP protocol. It is also a very important protocol that works behind this internet, that is transmission control protocol. It is a communicating standards that enables some application programs and computing devices to exchange the information over the network. So with the help of this TCP protocol, we are sending some packets across the network and ensure that the packet should be reached to the destination, because we get some acknowledgement in the either positive or negative acknowledgement from the destination. So TCP is one of the basic standard protocols that is used over the network, that defines the rules of internet, and it is one of the most commonly used digital network communication protocol that ensure the end-to-end delivery, because it is a reliable protocol, and with the help of this protocol we have just create the connection before the transmission of the data over the net. So first of all we have to create the connection, then transfer the data over the net, and then we have to disclose that connection. So we can say that basically this TCP protocol use a three-way handshaking. First, a request will send to the server. Then if server is ready to accept that information, if server is not busy, then it will send this response against this request. Then it means a connection is created between client and server. Then the data is being transmitted over the net. The data is being transmitted over this net, and after that, once your data is being transmitted, then it will send the request for the disconnection. Then connection will be disclosed by the server. So we can say that the TCP protocol use the three-way handshaking for transmission of data. That's why it is a reliable protocol, because it create the connection, then transfer the data, and finally it will disclose the connection. This is the whole process which I have discussed. Client, this is server, then client send a request to the server in the form of FIN, then server will send this response with some acknowledgement to the client, then the data is being transmitted, and then after that the connection will be disclosed. This is the functionality of TCP protocol. Now the next protocol which is used for the web, that is FTP protocol. It is called file transfer protocol. FTP is a file transfer network protocol for transmitting the files over the internet, and FTP is not work alone, it uses the TCP protocol, because once we have to create the connection through TCP protocol, then only we can transfer the data in the form of files through the internet. So, FTP protocol uses the TCP IP connections within the TCP suites, and FTP, it is a application layer protocol for TCP IP model. So, in the FTP interaction, the end user computer is typically called the local host, which is usually a server, and both computers needs to be connected through the network, and they have just configured properly and they are ready to transfer the data over the net. Then in that case they will use FTP protocol, basically used for sharing the files over the net. So FTP servers must be set up to run FTP services, and the client must have some FTP software installed to access these services. So we can access the services through these FTP servers, and FTP servers are responsible to provide the services to the client. This is the concept that how FTP works. One category is a active FTP and second category is a passive FTP. So in active FTP, client computers control the connections, create the connection to the server, then data connections over the web. And in FTP, if we are using this passive FTP, then it will connect the 21 port and data is being transmitted. This is a port number 20 and this is a high port we are using here for the FTP servers or FTP client. So now the next protocol is a telnet protocol. So telnet protocol is basically we can say it is a remote access protocol. So in the telnet protocol, it extends the telnet net. It is basically used for the telnet network. It is a type of protocol that enables one computer to connect to the local computer. Means we can remotely connect it to the computers, remotely access the services through this telnet protocol, and it is also use this TCP IP protocol for virtual terminal services, which is provided by ISO. So telnet it basically tell you that you can remotely log into the another system and browse the files and directories on the remote system. So if we are access some files remotely, if we want to access some files remotely, then in that case we will use telnet protocol. So the computer which is being connected, that is accept the connection that known as remote computer. This is the process that how we can access the services remotely through this telnet protocol. So here we have seen that this is your telnet client. It is a terminal, telnet terminal. We are using TCP IP model here, and your request is transferred through the internet to the telnet server, and you can remotely access all the services from the servers remotely through this internet. Now we come on website. As I have already discussed all the protocols which are necessary for web, for the communication over the web. So now we come on the website. That what is website? Because all the content which is shared through the internet is through the website only, and website is nothing, it is a collection of web pages. So we have just interlinked all the web pages, and then we have to host that website to the internet, then we can access the information through that website globally. So website, it is a collection of interlinked web pages, and we can create a website for different purposes, as we have to create the website for the personal use, as we have to create the website for the company use, for the corporate, which is called a corporate website. We can use for the business purpose. So there are different type of category through which we can create a website. So one is category is a type of corporate website. So in this type corporate website, there is a certain number of persons who develop the website for a particular organization. For example, if I am working in a college and we just want to create the website for our college, so this is called a corporate website, because it contains the information, all information of this college only. So and certain number of persons will create that website. So corporate websites are found when group of pupils commonly, they have some common interest and objectives. So the purpose of this website to convey the information, organization over the world. So we can, if we want to access the information of our college, we can access our college websites through that URL, and we can access the informations from anywhere in the world. Now, second category is a individual website or a personal website. So it is just like your profile management system. In this type of website, an individual wants to develop website for his projection or career growth. So if you want to create your website for your personal use, then it is called individual website. Now we come on some cyber laws which used, because we are using World Wide Web. So we know that there are number of crimes occur over the web. So there is a need of some laws. There are number of cyber laws are available in the worldwide available, through which we can minimize the crime over the web. So number one, what is cyber law? Cyber law, it is a term to describe some legal issues related to your communication technology terminology over the cyber space or over the internet. So there are number of laws are available worldwide, but if we are talking about the Indian cyber law, so in India, because they are Indian and international laws are available. So cyber law are formed by the government to prevent this internet crime. As I have already told you that as a number of persons increase over the web, so crime is also increases day by day. So how we can minimize that crime? So for that purpose, we the government of various countries or all over the countries create some laws for that crime, cyber crime. So these crimes, it could be hacking, it could be a threat on internet, it could be a denial of services. So cyberspace, it included some computer network, internet data software, etc. And why we use these cyber laws? Because we are using cyber laws for data protection, for security purpose, for authentication, etc. So they are as per the threats, we are using that particular law. So one is a data protection and privacy law. In this is due to the internet and amount of information may be accessed through some illegal persons. So in that case, there is a need of some data protection and privacy law over the internet. It is a legislation, it is critical to protect the rights of privacy of an individual. Second is the electronic and some digital signature law. It is basically for the purpose of authentication. So this is required so that uniform and standard procedures are established for the authentication of some electronic records. Now, computer crime law, it is apply when due to some victims over the internet threats. So, a number of laws are available as per the crime over the internet. One is that is majorly used law, that is a telecommunication law. So telecommunication law is basically used to use when approve and supervise the application of fees, rates charged for telecommunication services and in accordance with the provision of that applicable law. Another one is the intellectual property law. This includes some copyright law, trademark law, patent law to computer hardware and software. So if we want to protect our hardware and software, if we want to authenticate, then we will go for the copyright law, patent law, etc. Now, if we are talking about the IT Act 2000 India laws, so in India we are using IT Act 2000, that is for e-governance, that is for authentication of e-records, for digital signature, for controlled certified authorities, and for penalties of damaged computers and computer system. So these are some act which are applied in India, and that act is called IT Act 2000. Now, if we are talking about this income tax portal of India, so in Union Cabinet on January 2019, it gives the approval for the projects of around 40 to 41 crores for a period of 8.5 years. So the total paid off Infosys by 164 crores under this project. So now we come on the web applications. So web applications are to be basically, these are some simple softwares that are in the form of word processor, online spreadsheets and presentations tools, and more advanced applications such as project management, computer aided designing, video editing, etc. So we are using some writing these some web applications for a target users. So in that case we have some objective that how and when we have to write these web applications. So there is some specific, measurable, attainable and some realistic and time limited. We have to identify these objectives that when we have to create some web applications for the users. Now so first of all once we have to create these web applications, so first of all we have to identify the users. So for what users we want to create that web application, so we have to just find out, we have to just search out that what type of community is available for that particular web applications. So first of all we have to identify the target users. So the matter of website, we determine that we will determine by the users whom you want to visit. So for that purpose there is a need of some market research, focus groups and some understanding the internet audience, because as per the category a different type of users are available over the net. So we have to just find out that what type of audience are available for what type of purpose. Now once we have to identify the target users, then we have to determine the scope of the web application. So by supporting documents in client approvals, budget is also a necessary part of that. Once we have to define the scope for the website, then we have to take the assumptions for the budget, that how much cost will be included for the implementation of that website. Then we define the budget categories also, and we determine some hidden costs and tools for the web applications. Then we are planning issues are there, discuss some client existing information system. We have to create a project team and developing infrastructure where the website will place. So basically we can say that it is an overall planning, that how we can implement this web site or web applications, what type of target users are available who will use these web applications, and we also determine the budget before we have to start that project. Then we have plan for the how we can create, how many members involved to create that web application. So we have to define all these things in detail. Now we come on the difference between the web projects and traditional projects. As we have know that how we can create the web applications, what is the World Wide Web, how we can communicate through websites through the internet. So now we can easily understand that what is the difference between these web projects and traditional projects. So if we are talking about these web projects, so number one, our project managers are not always a client. They could be the same, but in case of this traditional projects, they are always different. So in the case of this web projects, these are always clients and it could be a same, but in the case of traditional projects, they are always a different. In the case of web projects, we are using beta technologies that is used for testing, often with the tech supports. So what is a beta testing? Beta testing is basically done by the existing clients who are already use some similar type of system. So we are using the beta testing here. In this, it is not an applicable in this case in the traditional projects. In the web projects, the pricing model for the web project does not exist, and it is in the form of traditional projects. It is more specialized, or web projects are less specialized. In the web projects, in the clients are unwilling to bear the cost of web development, but in this traditional projects, they are willingly to pay the cost. And in the case of web projects, project manager responsibilities are very broad, because all the works has to be done online. So it is very broad criteria in the case of web projects, but in the case of traditional projects, not true in these projects. We just strict on scope, and we have just work out on that scope, and we have to create the projects. But in the case of web projects, we are broad. We are very broad. We can cover all the aspects, and the scope is also broad in the case of this type of web projects. So we have easily differentiate that how the web projects are differ from the traditional projects. So as we have already discussed that this is a very important thing, that web projects, how we can create these web projects, how we can access these web applications through internet, how we can transfer the data over the net through these protocols. So these are the necessary parts for the web designing or web technology. So we can also purchase some domain, because if we want to host our website over the net, then there is a need of some domain. So these are some examples of some companies. They have to purchase some domains. These are very expensive. So the most expensive domain over the world has like carlens.com, it's a 49.7 million. Insurance.com, that is 35.6 million. If we are go for a private jet.com, it is 30.18 million. If we are going for the voice.com, it is around 30 million. So these are most expensive domain over the world. So if we want to create some web applications on that domain, so we have to know that these are most expensive domains in the world. Now this is our web development process, that how we can develop the web applications, how we can host that web applications, how we can register for this over the internet. So first of all, we have to define the strategy. After market search survey or after research, we have decided the strategy for the web applications. Then we have to go for the design and specification phase. We have just create that application, web application. Then that web application will create some results, the desired results. But before deploy to that web project, first of all, we have to go for testing. So we have to test that web projects. Once the testing is to be done at the developer side or as well as the user side, then we once it is ready for the deploy, then we have to register with the ISP. We have to take some domain and we host the website over the net. Then we finally we have to launch. So this is the whole process of web development, that how we can create the website, how we can test or implement then test the website, and how we can launch that website. Thank you so much.